Welcome to Victim Vibes Tarot. My name is Terry, and I am here to do a channeled message from Spirit. Okay? So many of you, I don't know if I mentioned, but I am a registered nurse, but I'm also a seer. And I've been getting this message that be warned, be warned, be warned. There's a scripture that talks about think on things that are lovely, that are good, that are of good report, that think on these things. I don't know the actual words of the scripture. I cannot remember. But it talks about thinking on things that are lovely, that are pure, that are kind, that are good. Because I feel like when a lot of people talk about there is going to be attack, there is going to be a mental attack on people who are weak-minded, people who are influenced by propaganda. There's going to be like a mass push of propaganda or allowance of propaganda through social media, through any kind of media inlet. Okay, so when you are being heavily influenced by propaganda, by doomsday messages, by conspiracy theories, by a lot of people talk about the that being, you're going to see a mass wide of people being affected by that later on, and so you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't listen to that, and you shouldn't believe in this, and you shouldn't accept this, and you should be doing this, and you better be doing this. Like, be very careful. So right now I found out, I was told, and I saw the article maybe about a week ago, where the state of New York filed a lawsuit against the top 3 social media companies, Meta, whatever, and because of the mental health crisis. They're saying that social media, those top 3 companies have caused a total mental health crisis in the state of California, and the state of California filed a lawsuit against these companies, saying that it's out of control. And so me being a registered nurse, and me being in the hospitals and seeing people that are heavily influenced by drugs, psychedelic drugs, and all these drugs that people are taking that cause them to hallucinate and have like godlike hallucinations and godlike experiences, and believing that they're Jesus, and believing that they shouldn't participate in society at all, they should live off the grid and all this stuff. Like, these people are being held against their will and deemed as incompetent to make decisions on their own. Young people, okay? So this is a warning to be vigilant, to make sure that you are not influenced by propaganda, social media. Make sure that I would say my advice from Spirit is to focus your mind on what you want to create, what you want to bring into fruition, what you want your life to be in the next 5, 10, 20 years, and focus on that. Whether it's a business, whether it's going up in your career, whether it's buying land and and growing your own food, if that's something that you want to do as a quote unquote doomsday prepper or a live off the grid type of person, do that shit in silence, buy the land and do it. Like, stop coming on social media telling people you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. And you, like, just, if that's what it is for your family, do that for your family. And to everybody else who is like, it's for the weak-minded. It's going to be for the weak-minded and easily influenced people, where they are going to be affected. And I don't think it's going to be like something intentionally done by the powers that be or the powers that were. I think that that's just where the world is coming to, where the weak will not survive. The weak will not be able to endure to the end. And it's just like the epidemic that just passed, where a lot of people that were physically weak, that already had medical conditions, that already had respiratory issues, did not make it. The weak did not survive. And so the mentally weak will not survive this next coming of age, this next era. The mentally weak will not survive. Those who are spiritually ignorant, who are uneducated and uninformed, or misinformed, miseducated, y'all are not going to survive. Y'all are not going to survive. You're easily persuaded, you're easily swayed, you're easily influenced by the wrong stuff. Like, you need to be, even if it's like getting if you're always consuming content, it needs to be exclusively positive content. It needs to be totally productive content. It needs to be like, okay, you're looking at this person, you're watching this person is actually giving you guidance on how to create a better, I'll say this, straight from spirit. This person or these people that you're following should be showing you how to create heaven on earth for yourself. If they're not doing that, you're wasting your time. These people need to be really showing you specifically the steps on to how to create your personal heaven on earth. And you need to be locked in, focused on doing that step by step. And that way you'll miss all the other shit. It'll pass right over. It reminds me of the scriptures that talk about when the Hebrews were under captivity in Egypt, and they were told to put the blood on the doorpost, and the angel would pass over them. They would not be affected. It would pass right over them. They would not be affected by the death that the Egyptians who had them captive experience of their firstborn sons. And that's metaphorically. I don't take that literally, but it's the blood on the doorpost. Your mind being extra strong and extra vigilant and extra focused is going to be the blood on your doorpost. Literally and figuratively. I won't say literally. Figuratively, that is going to be the blood on your doorpost. Your mind being stained, your mind being focused, your mind being strong, your mind being fit, your mind being fit, your mind being in shape. Like, remember the pandemic, those who body was not fit and out of shape and already diseased, they were the ones that were. I worked at a hospital that we had a mobile morgue right behind the hospital, and they were full. It was packed. They was constantly taking patients and coming back and getting more. So This is the message. Keep your mind strong, keep your mind fit, keep your mind focused on good things, on things that actually push you toward your heaven on earth. Why? Because while everybody else is going to be experiencing hell mentally, you're going to be trained mentally. You're going to be well informed. You're going to have that blood on the doorpost, okay, where it's going to just pass you over. So spread this message and put it in your own words. Like, don't scare people, don't do that. But like, as far as even like a lot of the medications, psych meds, cannabis, you don't know what they're infusing that stuff with. So you have to be careful. I won't say stop, don't do it, but you shouldn't be doing it all day, every day, 365 days of the year. You should not be doing that because you don't know what they're infusing into it. Street drugs, all this stuff, Molly and all this stuff. Those are chemically made drugs. These stores that sell, these smoke shops that sell synthetic cannabis and synthetic stuff, y'all don't know what they're doing. Y'all, it's always side effects and psychiatric side effects to this stuff, where it'll have you going to the left. It'll have you going to the left, and you don't even realize it. It'll have you watching stuff and having an interpretation that you really weren't meant to have, and talking sideways, and I see a lot of people that are overdosing, ODing on fentanyl and dying. They're dying. They ain't coming back. They like, and if not death physically, then it's going to be a death mentally. There's going to be a mental death. There's going to be mental death. There's going to be more homeless because the mind has gone down a rabbit hole that it's not able to come back from because of a lot of different things. So that's my message. Be vigilant. Be vigilant with your mind and what you're thinking, your thoughts, and be very intentional on who you listen to, and make sure that if you're listening and if you are constantly on social media and absorbing content, please make sure that it is positive content that is focused on your well-being, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It's a lot of people that are gonna be in an emotional crises. They're gonna be in emotional crises, and they're gonna be seeking medication. They're gonna be seeking medication to deal with a lot of anxiety and depression and schizophrenia, and a lot of this stuff. A lot of these drugs cause schizophrenia. A lot of these drugs cause schizophrenia. And once you're diagnosed, you don't have a say in what they do with you. So they will put you in an institution, because that's where people with psychological misbehaviors or psychological behaviors, the society says that that's where they belong, so that they are safe. Not just society, but society too, but so that they are safe from harming themselves. And so that's my message. I hope you can hear this message with your spiritual ears. It's not all literal, but that is the message from Spirit today. And I usually don't get these messages like this, these downloads, but my spiritual eyes see very clearly. And I hope you guys are able to see it as well. All right. Stay blessed. Bye.